Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melina, formerly fat, currently fed up. It is Saturday morning, very early. I don't have any makeup on. My eyelashes are not here. This is my drink. I don't have my normal mic either, but the mic on this camera is decently good, so I'm just going to use that one. Approximately 12 hours ago, as of July 26th at 6 in the morning, our girl has uploaded a video. Our girl being Miss Alexandra Rodriguez, which is funny because all of the backlash, she just hasn't said anything. So, would I normally react to this? Maybe. I mean, probably, yeah. Would I react to it so quickly, as in doing a back-to-back video about her? Normally, no. But like I said, we need to keep the gas pedal on her, keep the foot on her neck until she says something. If you're not aware, her dad is a convicted child rapist, and she wrote 2 letters to the courts asking him to be released. And yes, he is released, and he has violated his restraining order against his victim, who was his adopted daughter. His name is Roger Allen Thomas, by the way, if you were not curious. And also she has been copyright striking smaller reaction channels, potentially illegally, because these channels are all transformative, using her content under the fair use law, which, by the way, this video also falls under the fair use law. So we're going to jump right into this. It seems to me that she is running out of interesting content. I mean, clearly. And she's grasping at straws. I think the main reason why she did the copyright strike thing is because she just has nothing else to do. She wanted to stir the pot. She wanted people talking about her. That's what my assumption is. She brought back her podcast. I didn't know she even had a podcast. I feel like podcasts are for people who are no tea, no shade. Well, maybe tea and shade. Podcasts are for people who are interesting and have relevant life experience and who can give actual advice. If you have a mic, you can have a podcast, so whatever. The name of her podcast is Just Between Us, which she ripped from another podcaster. Go figure. I'll pull that up just so you guys can see. Yep, 620,000 subscribers. So, do with that information what you will. We're going to jump right into this. It's 48 minutes. Will I get through the whole thing? I will certainly try. I will interject. And I will give my own advice. All right, you guys ready? Ew. Wait, hold on. Let me turn that up a little bit. That shimmy was gross.
Oh! We're so back.
We're so freaking back, guys.
Oh.
Your father is also back in society, even though he was raping his adoptive daughter. So you guys have that in common. Cute.
Oh my gosh. If you remember this song.
I don't. Sorry. I was never an Alex fan. I've never watched her videos entirely. I only know of her because of Girl World. Because yes, she is a part of Girl World and she is a lolcow. So I forgot who I first seen her from. I don't remember who exactly, what reactor I was watching to be introduced to her. But it was never her original content.
Been here a minute, girly. I love you. I wanna be feeling. I am so excited to be back for a yap session, you guys. I am so freaking excited. We gotta pop a little.
Yeah, go figure. Drink some water.
Hey, Bevy. Woo!
I say as I drink my energy drink, but I'm also not 400 pounds. And I need some type of a stimulant. I just spit on my laptop. I need some type of stimulant to get through all of this. I literally just woke up. My hair isn't done. I'm pet sitting right now also. So this setup is not mine. But after this, I'm going to go home and play with my kitties, my foster cats, because yes, we foster cats. And then I'm going to go to the gym and actually do a leg day because 2 weeks ago I did my 12-hour endurance race and my knees and my tendons were, obviously banged up from that. And I haven't done a leg day since. So I'm going to do a nice little leg day and see how that feels. I'm excited, but also a little nervous.
Stunning. Oh, I got a little bit of that on my chinny chin.
Yuck.
So, if you're new here, welcome. Why did I put that out of frame? Let's keep the Pepsi in frame. First sponsor, cheers. The Pepsi Zero Sugar, Wild Cherry and Cream. She tastes like, I got a little bit of that on my chinny chin.
Yuck.
So, if you're new here, welcome. Why did I put that out of frame? Let's keep the Pepsi in frame. First sponsor, cheers. The Pepsi Zero Sugar, Wild Cherry and Cream. She tastes like nostalgia, delicioso. You guys, I'm back on my podcast grind. And I call this a podcast ever so loosely because it's going to stick exclusively on YouTube as a visual, but I want you to be able to just put this on in the background while you're folding laundry, doing dishes, doing whatever, because that's how I personally like to enjoy podcasts or, talk shows.
If someone told me you can only listen to Alexandra Rodriguez's podcast or never listen to music or podcasts on YouTube ever again, I would simply choose the latter.
Big fan, and I listen quite a bit. So this is the first episode of Just Between Us. I thought that'd be a fun little name for this series show.
Yeah, I have her in 1.25 speed because she talks slow, which I can talk slow also, so I'm not really ragging on slower talkers.
Yap sesh. I'm going to start this one off and just say, I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing. If you like it, if you guys...
It's probably not because she is known for starting and stopping things and not staying consistent with literally anything. Hence why she's still 400 pounds, 300, whatever. When you get that big, it's is there really that much of a difference?
Let me know that you like it. I'll show up because
I don't like this already. I'm just doing this to keep spreading awareness about your pedophile sympathizer activities.
Your girl can yap. If you don't know who I am, I'm a vlogger. I've been doing YouTube vlogs since 2011. I'm getting old, and honestly...
Yeah, you're getting old and you're still super morbidly obese, and you have a child. She's been doing YouTube for over a decade and still hasn't lost the weight. Ew. I'm so sorry if you hear the dogs licking themselves. That is gross. Can you see his little head? You're not allowed to come up here, sweetheart. Handsome. Handsome boy. Handsome. He's just a handsome boy. Dogs are usually not in my videos. It's usually cats, so enjoy this while you can.
Long time in my life. I've made a ton of mistakes that are online. I've shared my trials and tribulations. I have showed so much dropping out of college, going through relationships, dating. So if you want to just catch up on my life, go ahead and go for it. But I hope
she's I need to put my hair up. I have I don't know if I need to get some fidget toys. I touch my hair a lot, which is extremely annoying. I know it's very, very annoying. It's annoying for me also because I end up because your fingers have grease on them, like oils, and then I'm constantly touching it, so my hair gets oily faster. And yeah, so I just put my hair up. What did she say?
Relationships, dating. So if you want to just catch up on my life.
Oh yeah, she's please go watch my vlogs. I need the AdSense so bad. If you guys want to watch her videos, I guess if that's entertaining for you, but if you do, just put on an ad blocker. Is that legal to say? I don't know. Maybe don't put on it. Is that legal? I think so. I think what's not legal is what that H3 dude is suing the reaction channels for, because I think he had a paid video and then they were streaming it for their fans so no one had to watch it. I think that's illegal. But if what I said is illegal, that was just a joke.
And go for it. But I hope that we can be friends, internet besties. And
also, if I pause a lot, and this is something that reactors have to do, and it is quite annoying, but the more you pause and the more that you talk, the less that the original creator can say that it's the less that they can say that you directly ripped their content. So this is what makes the video transformative.
I hope we can have a good future of Yap sessions together. I thought about calling this just Yap Sesh, but the reason that I wanted to call this Just Between Us is because I want this to be interactive with you guys. I want to hear from you. So I'd already teased this over on my Instagram a few weeks ago, actually. If you don't know, I have an almost 1-year-old now, and he is the priority. So it's just me getting around to being able to do this, but I'm so excited. I would love for this to be a weekly thing. But I asked you guys on Instagram to send me over a variety of...
You don't have a day, like a normal 9-to-5 job. You can very, very easily do this along with your stupid vlogs. It's so like, I'm not comparing myself to her because I like if I'm comparing myself, I like to compare myself to people who are doing like better than me or people that I aspire to be. But I'll use myself as an example. Granted, I don't have a child. I will give her that. But the child is new. She's had the child for 1 year. I worded that strangely. And she's had the YouTube for 11. I work a 9-to-5 job. 40 plus hours a week. I train, so I lift, and I train for my ultra races. I also foster cats, and I do pet sitting, and I still manage to do 3 videos a week and stay consistent the last, how long have I been doing YouTube? 6 months. And I'm also not fat.
Chitty chatty chats. And
it just really boils down to priorities. And this is relevant to everything. If something is important to you, you will make the time for it. You will.
3 topics, potentially more in the future, but I had you guys send in voice notes with either, am I the asshole? BTW. I do not swear in my vlogs. I bleep them or remove them. But I love to curse. I'm a cursy little girl. Truly, though, like I have the mouth.
You're not little. You're also not a girl. You are a big woman.
Of a friggin' sailor. So we're going to be swearing on here. So a little warning for any people listening with kids, etc. So am I the asshole? You can also send in your questions that you need advice for. And then last but not
Who is asking her for advice? The only advice I would ask her for is like, what's the best sour cream at Whole Foods? What's the best ice cream at Whole Foods?
these confessions just between us. These can be anonymous. When you send in your voice note, if you want to say your name, you certainly can. But you don't have to. These can be anonymous. So if you want to send yours in to hopefully be featured on the show, send them to justbetweenusshow@yahoo.com. I'll put a link in the description. And also,
I'm going to send something in, and she won't know it. I'll use a voice changer. I would like to know why you wrote a letter to the courts saying that what your dad did was a blessing in disguise and that what happened to him really affected you. Answer that. Riddle me that and I'll leave you alone.
Try to keep it under a couple minutes, please, if possible. I understand there needs to be details, but, gotta keep it moving, girl. Okay. So also, I want to just, like I said, I want to talk about subjects, things in my life. I have, a lot of segments that
I want to talk about subjects. Oh, man. Could you imagine Amber? Amber actually kind of does this already. Does she still do the, sippin' community, all that crap? I think she got rid of a few of them. She should get rid of all of them.
that I want to start doing. I thought it'd be really fun to do, what the youths are saying. It's funny because I still feel, how old do I feel? Mid-20s. I feel like kind of stuck in mid-20s energy. I'm 32, but I'll see TikToks where...
Metabolically, you're about 50, though. So I do like her nail color. I'll give her that. I like the nail color. I always try to give them at most, one compliment. So I'm not an actual raging bitch.
People are talking to teenagers, young teens, and all these fancy lingos that they have for youthing is just bizarre. The most recent one I heard is called aura farming. Yeah. I want you to take a second and think about what aura farming could possibly be. So I'm going to give you the definition when I type in what is aura farming. Let me Google it. Stand by. Little music till I get this pulled up here. I thought it'd be nice to have some fun little chill music if I need a second to pull something up. Oh, okay. Let's see. aura is basically a term for someone doing something really badass. Coming from a Gen Zer, it's kind of an unnecessary phrase. We already have words for aura, like cool and badass. Aura farming refers to characters who constantly have aura moments. This doesn't seem like the right answer, if I'm honest. What is that thing? Urban Dictionary. Okay, that comes out, Urban Dictionary. Aura farming means doing random acts for the sake of gaining aura. Well, what is aura? Isn't that like your status? Gaining aura. What is aura? Charisma, coolness, social presence. Oh my god. Aura farming? Why does that just feel insanely difficult? This is what it is to get old. Aura farming. I don't know why I said that to my husband last night, and I asked him what it meant, and he just was so confused. I would love to have him on for some segments where we just like...
It's pretty self-explanatory. If you watch any reels on Instagram, I'm sure they talk about aura. Come on.
try to test his knowledge of these cool terms that the kids are saying anyway. So, I have a few of these pulled from ones that you sent in before the show even started, and I am dying to get into them and see what the goss is. So, I have one here that I want to pull in first and foremost. So, let's go ahead and listen in from our first caller.
Hi there, Miss Alex. I'm so excited you've decided to do a podcast. So I'm 34 years old. I recently got married within the last year, September, and I'm having some trouble. My husband and my mother cannot stand each other. I'm very close with both of them, and I know that this is a very common issue, right? There's cliches about it, the monster-in-law thing. It's...
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I had to pause it because I friggin' love the movie Monster-in-Law, and also this is making me sad, but I'm excited to hear more, and I already have thoughts.
It's just a thing. It's a very common issue. And I know that there's nothing I can do to fix their relationship because that's not my job. And they have to be the ones that want to find some common ground. What I'm curious about is how, as this like middle person for them, how do I set healthy boundaries to protect myself, my heart from getting hurt and from being stressed out over things that I can't control, right? It goes beyond just let them, because I have read the book with your recommendation.
That's the funniest part. She's like, the Mel Robbins book, Let Them. She's a big advocate for him. Bitch, let the reaction channels react then. If you were to reach out to Mel Robbins and say, oh, I'm a YouTuber and reaction channels react to my content, blah, blah, blah. You know what she would say? Let them. Not strike them.
And I guess I'm just wondering, what are some very practical, healthy boundaries that I can set with both of them to keep from being put in the middle of their...
It depends on why they don't get along. I hope she'll say why, because that is a very important piece of information. And if she already referenced monster-in-law, the issue is the mom. And if my mom was being a raging biatch to my boyfriend or my husband, then the line would be drawn. Like, you're not going to disrespect my partner at all. No, it's not happening.
Conflicts. So if you have any and all advice, that would be most welcome. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited that you're doing a podcast, and I can't wait to listen in. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for sharing this. I know this is a massive issue with so many people. I mean, literally, that's why they have the movie Monster-in-Law. That's tough. That's really, really tough. Okay, so I'm going to keep it so real. I have never talked about this online
I'm going to keep it so real.
Before. It was not the peachiest journey between my husband Yar and my mother.
Yeah, because your mom is also a fucking bitch. Just like you. And he sucks also. Like, come on. I read somewhere that they have I learned this term recently, a lavender marriage. That's when one or both parties are...
I know. It's quite shocking.
No, it's really not, though. I'm not shocked. That's not shocking.
So I think what happened was really my mom and I have always been insanely close, just the two of us. And I think in past relationships, they weren't necessarily the most healthy. So I still relied on her a lot as a main person for my emotional support, my needs. And then all of a sudden, like, cue Yarman and cue this healthy relationship. And it's just like, she's like, girl, what? You don't need me as much? This is very upsetting. And props to my mother who figured that out in therapy and was like, okay, she put it together. that she felt like she was losing me when Yar came along and we had healthy boundaries and the two of us were very strong together, and my mom felt, a little bit left behind, and that is completely understandable. Even though she wasn't, she was super included in, our life, of course, still. So
I feel like that's not normal. That is not a normal, healthy mother-daughter relationship dynamic.
they did not always, it's not like they didn't get along, but there was definitely like, my mom. My mom she's
A bitch. And also a sympathizer.
fearless. You see this tattoo? She is fearless. It's over here somewhere. Okay.
Ew.
Also, arms out, girl.
Ew. No, put a fucking cardigan on. No one wants to see that.
Let the wings flap this summer. Don't be afraid to show your arms. So there was definitely some awkward moments with
The funniest thing about when you are a healthy body weight and then you also lift, I'll show you guys. So when you do that, it's like you have like a little jiggle there. But when you flex your tricep, it's not there. So a lot of fit girls are like, oh, my chicken wings or whatever. And then they go like this. And I'm like, girl, flex your tricep and then that's your muscle. This is your muscle. You can do the same with your hamstring. So if you sit on the edge of a seat with the back of your legs hanging off, I can't really show you guys right now, but you can jiggle that and you're like, what the heck? And then you flex it. You're like, oh, that's my hamstring. It's pretty cool. She is under muscled, so she won't be able to do that for a very long time, if ever. I highly doubt she has the discipline and the mental fortitude to, one, lose all the weight. Sorry. And two, to be consistent, train hard with intensity, and eat enough. Not like Anna. Do you guys see that? She was like, the dietitians told me I wasn't eating enough. Bitch, you've eaten enough for the next 10 years. Knock it off. What they said was you were not eating enough whole foods and protein, actual protein, like lean protein sources. Chicken, turkey, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Not your stupid Snackle box. I don't remember where I was going with that, but yeah, her wings are going to stay until she dies. I would put money on that.
and my mom and Yar, where you could just feel the tension. And thank God we have worked through that. And there have been conversations and uncomfortable conversations, and now we're in a really good place. So with the whole book, Let Them, I totally get what you mean, where you can't just always just like, okay, let them and let me suffer. Like, okay. But the meaning of Let Them goes so much further to that. What I loved about the book, the Mel Robbins book, Let Them, it's let them and then let me. So, because at first when you hear let them, it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of controversial theories about the whole let them theory. I personally like it a lot as someone who, as an internet personality, I feel a lot of the time like out of control of certain parts of my life, and I just have to like, oh, let them, let me.
You feel out of control, so you go and copyright strike 5+ small creators. She is a walking cognitive dissonance.
Control what I can, you know what I mean? And that goes with a lot of parts of life.
Oh, okay, so that was her reasoning then. So the let them theory and the let me part was her saying, all right, I'll let them react, but let me go copyright strike them illegally.
Life. Let them, let me. So let them have their issues. Let me create safe boundaries for myself where I feel comfortable and protected and happy and safe and comfortable in my environment. So there's a few routes you can take here. You can do that where you kind of, keep them separate. And that's not the most fun feeling. You want your spouse and your mom to get along. I get that 100%. Unfortunately, the only way to get through those really hard, awkward relationships is through really awkward, hard conversations. Like, I had to have some really tough talks. You can do them together, and like, you got to just be straight up. Like, if you want this to heal long term, like, okay, I wish I could ask you questions. Maybe we should make these calls. I don't know. Let me know. I would love to ask, like, who's the one causing the tension here? Is it more mom? Is it more husband? Is it kind of just mutual? Because whoever's causing the issue here needs to be talked to, because they need to know that you guys want to be a united triangle of love, a family triangle of love.
Ew. Is that what your relationships were like as a child, Alexandra? A love triangle? Weird.
Love. And that, I know, it's easier said than done, but like, you got to just be straight up. Literally, I was like to my mom, like, what's the beef? What is the beef with Yarman? Like, why are you weird? What is this? And, it didn't happen immediately. It takes time for people to process things, but she's like, I feel left behind. There's got to be a deeper reason why this relationship,
Your mom is childish.
is not, working out. Like, who's stepping on toes, who needs to be chatted to. And it's not like these conversations that are super awkward and tense are going to be, you don't have to be mean about it, but you got to be honest. And unfortunately, if someone doesn't want to understand you, listen to you, hear your needs, hear your boundaries, there is nothing else you can do. Like, I'm saying worst case scenario, if you cannot get through who you need to get through to, like, distance is okay. It is completely okay, especially with the two of them. But I do think there's always room. Because I'm telling you, trust me, oh my God, one night in the very beginning, my mom had only met Yar a few times. We had gone to this we were going out to dinner and to this comedy show. And I don't know. I don't remember what had happened specifically, but my mom and I had gotten into something about, we were in the bathroom and she just gave me some comment about like something snarky. When my mom is like pissy, like she'll just make these comments that are just like, I'm like, you're trying me. And for a very long time, pre-therapy, I didn't know how to handle it. And it took a lot. I actually read the book called Boundaries, and because not just with, my mom, with anyone.
I don't care if it's my mom. I don't care if it's a friend. I don't care who. If you are being snarky and a bitch to me, something's going to be said. Like, why are you being snarky to your freaking daughter? So weird.
It's hard to know sometimes how to be like, I will not tolerate this. I will move along. Hit me up when you're ready to talk. Hit me up, because I can't just be.
Hit me up when you're done being a raging bitch. Actually, that's what it would be. Go fix your shit. You're grown.
You're being stomped on because you're upset about something that brings me joy. So, alas, conversations. You got to have a conversation. And if it will help to have a third party there, I always recommend that. Have another person there, a safe, neutral little space. Have someone to talk to about it. I wish I could ask, like, if you have siblings, like, can we get someone in on this to, like, help mama out? Like, what's the vibe? So, thank you for sharing. I hope that's helpful in any sort of way. It's hard though. Trust me, I've been there and it is difficult. Literally, like I said, in past relationships, it's not like my mother acted as my relationship partner, but like she was my main person for emotional support. And moms, like now that I'm a mom, I'm like, damn, like I love.
She keeps telling on herself. What is this like incestuous? Incestuous?
Incestuous.
Incestuous talk.
I love my son so much. Like,
my phone was like, you're running out of storage. And I'm like, what the heck? How? And I go look at my videos and I had a 45-minute screen recording from one of the reactions I did recently.
Only imagine how she would have felt. And like, if you can try to put yourself in those shoes, it will help you see their side a little bit more. And hopefully they can get their shit together because you don't need that stress. You don't need that stress at all. Oh my gosh. This one, the next one here is about a stolen baby name. And I am so curious to hear about this one. So let's dive in here about this stolen baby name.
This is why if you're pregnant and you're having a baby, don't tell anyone what the name is. And if you do, just give them a different name. Granted, I feel like this isn't very common. I don't know. That is so weird.
Alex, I'm so excited. I'm hoping to get your honest opinion on this, especially because you're a mom as well. And you just went through the whole name game. But let's start with my sister. She loved the name Rose, okay? And ever since we were young, that was like her favorite name. She actually had us calling her Rose for a little while. And so fast forward to last August, I was pregnant and I found out like at week 3, I took a test early and I found out I was pregnant, and we told my other kids, which is 6 and 3. My 3-year-old she didn't understand too well, but my, then she was 5 years old, but so she's 6 now, but she had been calling the baby Rose. She was like, well, if it's a girl, her name's gonna be Rose, and if it's a boy, it's gonna be Carl. And so we were interchangeably using those names until we found out it was a girl. And so the name Rose for my baby had like started from the beginning, right? And we told family, when they were asking, what was her name, we're like, well, some way, shape, or form, we're gonna use the name Rose, like either Rosalie or something, and Rose as a middle name. And we're just like, some way, shape, or form, Rose is gonna be in there. So my sister like would make comments throughout my pregnancy, and nothing, and she was kind of rude about it, but I just thought she was plain, and she never was direct with it, like making, I really can't remember what comments she was making because they were so nonchalant, but fast forward to me actually having my daughter, and we used Rose as her middle name. So she has her first name and then she has Rose and then our last name. So I posted it on Facebook and I call her, everything's all well and done. I'm sitting there in the hospital bed and I call her so she can see my daughter, and she doesn't answer my phone call. And then
I think the middle name being Rose is fine. It feels kind of like an ode to her sister. If she would have named her daughter Rose, that would have been a bitchy sister move. But the middle name being Rose, I think that's okay.
for about 6-7 days straight, I was calling her and she was not answering, not even just like cutting me off. She just wouldn't answer. Like she wouldn't like see it and then end it, like, or end it short. She just wouldn't answer me, like if I wasn't even calling at all.
What a strange background. Why did she put herself at the beach? This is very strange.
And I even mentioned it to my mom, like, hey, my sister isn't answering my phone calls. And she's like, well, she's probably busy. I'm like, usually she'll answer and then be like, hey, is everything okay? And then she just won't, she'll be like, okay, well, I have to work. And then she'll let me go if, there was an emergency, but I just had a baby. So she definitely would be answering. I finally get her to answer and she's kind of talking here and there. And they're like, hey, like, do you want to see your niece? And she goes, oh, like, I want to talk to you about that. And just started going off on me and basically saying that, like, she can't believe I used that name. That was her name. And I told her, I was like, my husband picked our daughter's name. She's like, that's why I don't like your husband. And then she ends up making comments directing my daughter, my oldest daughter, because it's like, well, my daughter picked her name as well. And she goes, well, that's why I have disowned her a while back because she, and that was my name. And mind you, me and my 2 older daughters are in the car, 6 and 3. 3-year-old doesn't really understand, but my 6-year-old is like trying to calm her down because she is like freaking out over the phone. She even like,
what? Your 6-year-old is trying to calm her down? Oh my God, I have so many thoughts. We still have some more info to come, but I'm like, oh my God, like, no.
tries her best to be like, well, the name Daisy's pretty. You can use the name Daisy. And I'm like, baby, like, it's okay, don't worry. And I even told her, I was like, I'm very disappointed in you. I'm going to let you go. And then she just starts like trying to tell me off and I just hang up the phone. And that was 3 months ago. And she's still yet to call me or text me or anything or apologize. Wow. And so I just want to get your opinion on if I'm the asshole for using the name. Mind you, and here's the kicker, okay?
There's a kicker.
She doesn't want any more kids.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, okay. She doesn't want any more kids, and she's mad that you used the.
Yeah, I would say not the asshole, especially because she doesn't want any more kids. I don't have a sister, but if that was my sister, I'd been like, you're weird.
Name Rose? Wait a damn minute.
Nor is she pregnant. She's not pregnant, doesn't want any more kids, doesn't have anybody to be. She's separating from her husband. She doesn't want any more kids. And
well, so what it probably is then is your healthy / working relationship / having a baby, that all makes her upset and potentially jealous. Maybe she's mad that her relationship isn't working out. So you taking that name, her taking that name and then using it kind of just, it's like a little jab, like, haha, I have a healthy relationship. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Who really knows? But it probably felt like a jab saying, look, haha, I have a healthy relationship. Look, I had another baby. I'm going to use the name that you like. Do I agree with that? No. I think using that name as a middle name is totally fine.
She had the nerve to tell me and disown her niece and to tell off my husband and to tell me off for using a name that she is not going to be using. So I want to get your opinion.
It would have been even funnier if she named her dog Rose.
On that. Am I the asshole for using the name that she will not be using? That meant something to our family because it's my daughter picked her name, and we've been calling her that since.
I saw a post. This is mean, but whatever. She doesn't deserve kindness. I think it was on Reddit, and they screenshotted. She was standing kind of like this, and you see on her arms, like her arm fat, it's in the shape of a W, and people were like, is this what Weight Watchers is doing for you? I was like, oh my God, you guys are horrible.
Do it again.
I found out I was pregnant at 3 weeks. That is her name. And it wasn't out of spite. It wasn't out of being
okay, I get it.
She's not going to hate in her name.
Absolutely brutal. That was like a.
But am I the asshole?
Oh my God, absolutely brutal. That was like an absolute journey. That just took me on an absolute journey. And of course, you guys must comment down below your thoughts about everything when we go through these. This is a pretty solid first one of Am I the Asshole? Because I have thoughts. So I wanted to pause it a few times throughout, but I also wanted to keep waiting to see it. I'm glad I waited. So listen, I'm going to keep it so real with you. At first, and these are all just my opinions, everyone. My first thought was like, it sounds like your sister has, it's kind of like a girl code thing, in my humble opinion, that when you tell people you're
nothing about you is humble,
close to your baby name, like you're kind of locking it in. You're like, look, like, this is my name, please don't take it. Like, I am clocking this from the beginning. That's what this little clock thing that people do. This is what kids do. You guys told me they're clocking it, and I saw this on Love Island.
Is that what clocking is? I thought this was I thought this was like a applause, like you know how we used to not we, but how people used to snap. I thought this was like a mini applause. Is that what this is? Clocking? I don't know.
So at first when you said that, I get that your daughter said it. I get that. I get it. And I think that is like so cute. But also at first I was like, well, as her mom, like, and you know that, you know, Auntie's been calling that name forever. Like, oh, Rose is so pretty, but like, what else do you think? Like, your aunt really wants to use that name. That was my first thought and what I would have done. But then you took me on a wild goose chase later to find out your sister is not having any more kids. And she's upset that you used the name. Or
let's pray. I'm not religious, obviously. Let's pray that she does not have any more kids, because the first one, that poor baby.
in the beginning as well, my thought was. Also, you could be like, hey sis, my daughter I'm pregnant. Yay. Oh, let me use, yay, I'm pregnant. But also, can I use the name Rose?
Oh
yes,
my God, the fucking soundboard. Oh. She thinks she's doing something here.
On board here, and I'm determined to use it. But you know, that was my first thought. I'm like, okay, we can have a convo. Like, hey, girl.
I'm gonna get a soundboard, and it's only gonna be fart noises. Poop from a butt. Thank you guys. I had a few people, like 6 or 7, reach out because I briefly mentioned in a live stream that I did with Angelica Unfiltered that I'm looking for a graphic designer. I haven't chosen one yet because I'm still writing out like exactly what I want. But thank you guys for reaching out. If anyone watching is a graphic designer, please do reach out. I want to make like an icon, I guess. Like a profile icon. But I want to combine, if you go to my channel memberships, and this is me trying to lure you to my membership. I'm just kidding. If you go, you can see like the little icons there, that style. I kind of want to, I don't know if I want to do like that style or the style that my banner is on my YouTube channel. I like both of them because I have a lot of different things I want to do. People have asked me about merch, and but when I eventually do merch, it would be like an actual like passion project. It wouldn't be like stupid AI, just mass printed shit like Chantal's. She's the first one I thought of, but a ton of people do it like that. No, I want to hire an actual graphic designer to design it for me, and then everything would be like really nice quality. The first thing I know that I will do, and this will not be for profit, obviously, but I want to make pens, like writing pens, and I'm going to put poop from a butt. If you've been here long enough, you know that's like one of my things. So poop from a butt. Oh, I don't want to say it because it's a surprise, but yes, there are things that will eventually be in the works.
I'm pregnant, hip hip hooray.
Poop from a butt. I'm going to get a soundboard. It's just going to be fart, 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 fart. Poop from a butt. Fart, 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 fart. You're fat. Fart, fart.
I know that you have wanted to use the name Rose forever, and trust me, I wasn't expecting this, but my daughter was like immediately wanted to call the baby Rose. Could we meet in the middle? Like, would you mind if I used it as like a middle name? And then, you know, if you have another kid, you can take it as the first, and it'll be cute, like, because they're cousins. It'll be adorable. That was my first thought. I was like, okay, we can make this work. We can make it work. But then your sister went ahead and just had a whole mentee bee about this. Like, first of all, we are disowning a 6-year-old for this, and we are not seeing our new 3-month-old niece for this. Listen, you guys. Family matters. It matters so much. And granted, if you have like an abusive or really toxic, unhealthy family, like cut it off. But if you...
Oh, really, Miss Alexandra Rodriguez? If you have abusive and toxic family members, cut them off. Why have you not cut off your pedophile father then? Why did you choose to create a relationship with him then? Because mind you, he abandoned her at 3, which... that's not her fault, of course. Not her fault at all. He is a loser, clearly. And she chose to build a relationship with him after the fact. After abandoning her, which, yes, if your father abandoned you, you can eventually build into a new and healthy relationship. That's not the issue. The issue is he was graping his adoptive daughter. She knew this. He was convicted. This is not hearsay. This is not allegedly. He was convicted. He is a convicted sexual predator in the state of Florida. Dink! And she knows this, and she wrote letters asking the courts to release him early. Practice what you preach, homegirl. Flying out to Fort Lauderdale to visit him. having him at your wedding when you had family members or friends there with their own children. If I had children, I don't, and I don't want them. I'm staunchly child-free. I do like kids, though. I always say that because the child-free community has a very bad rap because of Reddit, because that subreddit's crazy. But if I had children and I brought them to a wedding and then I found out that there was a known sexual predator, a known child sexual predator there, oh my God. Let's just say she probably would have left in an ambulance. She and him. I could post bail, don't worry.
And preserve a family. Some of my family has gone through some, I don't know what my dog is doing. My dog is just standing under this desk looking out like he's about to protect me from something. Okay. All right, buddy. I don't know what he's doing. I've had some family drama over the last few years where some of my family doesn't talk anymore, and I hate it. It breaks my heart. I even tried to fix it. Didn't go well. I went in with a full heart trying to fix this situation.
I feel very, I don't know, talking about your personal, granted her thing is like vlogging her personal life, but I don't know, I do vlogs also every Saturday, not this Saturday though, because all my bandwidth was taken up by the video yesterday. So, and honestly, this last week was just very chill. Although my last one was also like a chill recovery chit chat one, and people said they really liked just the normal average, because I live a very normal average life. Like it's hard because when you're watching YouTubers, and if they're bigger, they always end up, living the lavish lifestyle. And it's nice to find people who are just normal everyday people. But I'm very particular about what I post and who I post and what I talk about, because I do believe that your relationships, whether it's your partner or your family, they should be protected from the internet. And I just couldn't see myself having a podcast. Well, I could see myself having a podcast. I couldn't see myself talking about like the interpersonal relationships of like my family. Like my family, like me, my mom, my dad, my brother, aunts, uncles, partners. Like I couldn't. And if, I don't know, to each their own. It's very strange to me, because also it's just weird because she has cultivated a community that doesn't like her. And people can get crazy and weird, like Chantal's, enemies, I guess. She was, oh my God, I'm sorry. She was antagonizing them. Remember very recently when she fled, where was she the first time? Kuwait, because she was pandering online for donations, which is illegal out there. She fled to Canada, and then simply based off of the videos that she was recording in the apartment she had rented, people found where she was living and then contacted her landlord and was like, hey, by the way, a few years ago she has evictions on her record, or a few years ago she was evicted, and like I guess sent them pictures of like the pigsty that she used to live in. Which, I mean, if I was a landlord, I'd have been like, yeah, no, get that shit out of here. So he kicked her out, and then she fled to Syria. Yes, fled to, not from, to Syria. Yeah, talk about privilege. But she was like taunting everyone the whole time, saying, you won't find where I live. Do not underestimate internet sleuths. Do not, because they will find it and they will post it.
With multiple family members, tried to mediate. No, did not work. But I tried. So in my head, I'm like, with family stuff, I just feel like you should try to fix things when you can. But I have a full understanding that you're upset with your sister. Like, I just think this is a complete and utter overreaction. And I could justify it so much more if she was going to have more kids. But my question to you is, like, are you sure she's not going to have more kids? Because, you said she's getting separated, doesn't have anyone to have a kid with. But, like, was she thinking down the road of maybe, like, getting a donor? Was she thinking of having another one down the road? But at this point, too, I'm thinking of, like, the most hot-headed people in my life that overreact. It's been months now, and she still hasn't met her new niece. And, I mean, I'm sorry, like, I don't think any hothead I know would get to the point of saying they're disowning their 6-year-old niece because they picked the name Rose.
Yeah, if my sister or brother or sister-in-law, whoever, they did that, I'd have been like, you're crazier than I thought.
You think this 6-year-old went ahead and was like, you, auntie, you have this name, and I'm plotting to ruin your life. Like, okay, ma'am, let's take a seat. Let's sit down. It's all right. We can work through this. I don't know. You guys got to comment about this. I don't think you're the asshole at all. In the beginning, I was like,
Okay.
You're not an asshole, but this is not really on. I just family member. So, like I said, you're not the. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry going through that. That's rough. Now, we're going to go in with our last one here. So we've got a question of advice that you need advice on. So let's go ahead and tune in. I don't think I've listened to this yet.
Hi, Alex. First of all, I love you.
I love you more.
Been a long time viewer now. I need some advice. So a little background. I was laid off from my job about 2 years ago, and I moved back home to my parents' house. And
Oh, wait, I was going to put the boo sound when she said that. Guys, this is the first step. Give me grace here.
so a little background. I was laid off from my job about 2 years ago.
Boo!
And I moved back home to my parents' house, and luckily, recently, within the last couple of months, since May, I started working again. I have a solid form of income, which I'm so grateful for, and I've been able to live in my parents' house rent-free, which I'm so blessed. But within that time, I met my boyfriend, and everything is going wonderful. We've been dating for a little over 6 months now. We've known each other for more than 10 years, and really, once we started dating, we hit the ground running. Like, we've known each other for so long that we're already having conversations about moving in with each other, what our long-term future looks like. And I'm kind of coming to the predicament where I've always wanted to live on my own before I settle down and start a family and move in with a man. And everything in my area, the prices of stuff are going up so much these days, and what was once an affordable place to live has just becoming less and less, like, so not obtainable within my means of living. So I'm really weighing out the pros and cons of, do I continue to...
If you cannot afford living on your own, you don't live on your own. You don't, sorry. So, and that sucks. I mean, I get it. I understand that, obviously. I spent all of my 20s in house shares. So either an apartment with someone else. Well, I think it was only one apartment. That was horrible. Fuck you, Lisa. I know you're not watching, but Lisa was horrible. I'll insert some pictures right here. This was when, I think this is part of the reason why I don't really like people who don't have a backbone and who cannot stand up for themselves, because that was me, and I hate that I didn't do that. So this is like a form of projection, I suppose. It's not that I don't like them, like, ooh, I won't be your friend. It's just like, I scream. I have friends who just don't stand up for themselves, and I like scream. I'm like, you need to stand up for yourself. Like, I'll stand up for you, of course. But in this period of my life, this was in 2020. So I think this was right before, I was actually living with her when I started my weight loss journey, which of course you try to shit on. Yeah, look at me now. Bitch. But yeah, I lived in an apartment with her, and then I've had, oh gosh, probably like 4 or 5 house shares throughout the years, just living with people, because I'm in the Bay Area, and if you want to live somewhere by yourself, you're going to be paying like minimum $2,000 a month. That's just how it is. So with her, stay at home as long as you can. Stack your money. If you don't have like 3 to 6 months or 6 to 12 months emergency fund, get that first before moving out. That is your first priority. And then you can eventually move in with him. But also moving in with a partner, depending on how long you guys have been together, can be extremely risky. Because you're signing a lease, usually a year long. You don't know what they're like. Spending the night only shows you so much. Philip and I'm trying to think, so we were dating for over a year. Yeah. Because we started dating in June of 2022. And then we moved in together. Like, we both lived in house shares. One, because it's cheaper and you're able to stack your money more. So it's just financially, it makes more sense, even though, like, I back then couldn't afford to live on my own. He could. But, I mean, I won't get into specifics. But we are both very into, like, investing and being smart with our money, and just living in a house share, it was smart. And during those time periods, we would just like spend the night at each other's houses with roommates. But everyone there did the same thing, so it wasn't an issue. But anyway, so we started dating June 2022, and then we moved in together February of, I believe it was February 2024. Yeah, February of 2024. So a year and a half we dated, I believe, before we moved in together. And it wasn't like the decision wasn't made based off of, well, I can't afford to live somewhere, you can't afford to live somewhere, so let's just move in to save on rent. It was my lease is ending, his lease was ending in a few months. we think this is the next appropriate step in our relationship. Talked about everything, worked everything out. We went to Shake Shack and talked about, dividing how we wanted to divide bills, how we wanted to divide housework, just, normal, boring adult stuff. And we made the decision. We went and looked at an apartment or a few apartments. And yeah, the rest is history. And we've been at this place for, I don't know, whatever February 2024 is. So you have to do what's smart financially, but also what's smart for your relationship.
Out moving into an apartment on my own, or do I move in with him and save money? And we've even talked about that, how he would cover a lot of the cost, and I would be able to save so much money. But also, like, I can't live with my parents anymore. Like, I'm losing my mind over here.
Yeah, that's another thing. Living with your parents, usually it's not going to end well, especially if you're an adult. Because I find that a lot of parents, and I know people who have been in this situation, they still just see themselves as a parent, even though their child is grown, and they still try to parent them.
The rent is free, but like I'm paying off my mental health. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just really weighing out the options and would love some advice, especially from someone who is married, who has done the dating game, open to all forms of advice and encouragement. So thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you so much for sending that in. Congrats on finding...
If anything, I don't remember how long she said they were dating. She could find a short-term house stay, like a 6-month one. That way she's kind of living on her own. She's still, she'll still be saving, she'll still be saving money because she's splitting the rent with one or more people. And then eventually move in with her boyfriend. It's just, if my friend came to me and was like, I really want to move in with him, but the reason is only because she wants to get out of her parents' house. It's like, well, then what if you move in and then the relationship goes to shit? You're going to have to find a house share now. So you'll be in the same predicament. Whereas if you're in a house share, you're still able to build your relationship here. You can stay the night over there. Like, you can have your stuff over there and see how that works. Granted, sleeping over and living with someone is totally different, and you don't really know until you do it. Of course, you can be mindful and pay attention to things while you're there, especially if you're staying there for long periods of time. But I would just do a house share.
Love, especially with someone that you've known for so long. That is amazing. It's funny because I'm just going to talk to you like I'm talking to a friend. I don't think there is anything wrong with moving in with this person. Rent is insane. My first thought too, though, was yes, living by yourself is wonderful, and I get that you wanted to do that on your own before living with a partner. But it sounds like your mental health is suffering being at your parents'. Shout out to them for the free rent. We love them for that. We appreciate them for that. But with rent being so rough, I don't think there's any harm in moving in with this guy because you've known him for so long. If he was a little bit more new, granted, you've only been dating 6 months. Since you've known him so long, I think you have a pretty good judge on his character. And also,
but knowing people and then dating them it's totally different. Has my little bang thing been sticking out this whole time? I'm getting a haircut soon. Actually, I just got prescribed, I don't know, but minoxidil, because I noticed my hair starting to thin. What the heck? My hair used to be pretty thick and I don't know, voluminous. My hair used to be pretty thick, and I've just noticed it's really just not anymore. And I notice a little bit more shedding in the shower. I'm like a fucking snake. I'm shedding everywhere. I'm like, what the heck? And I guess this is a normal-ish thing when you're 30. I eat well. I take care of myself. But maybe all the running stuff has made my body stressed. I don't know. So I'm going to start taking minoxidil, a pill one, because your girl needs her hair back. But anyway, I'm getting my hair cut next month. My toxic trait is that I go 2 years without getting my hair trimmed. It's bad. It's really bad, I know.
Covering more of the costs, I would just be a little bit cautious. I think that's amazing and appreciate. So you can save up. Let's say things do eventually, if things don't work out, not eventually, things are going to work out. I'm manifesting that for you. But if things were to not work out, you'd be able to have a nice little egg saved in this experience, and then potentially...
Yeah, if your boyfriend or whatever is covering most of your rent, you need to take that portion and put that away. You need to be safe. You need to be secure. Oh my God. And you need to always have a way out, because you never know. You never know.
You'd be able to move out on your own. But that's not going to happen. It's going to work out. I believe that in my heart and soul. But it just doesn't sound like moving out alone is possible right now. One option you have is to move out with a friend. So you can still have that separate...
Don't move in with friends either. I know I've had so many experiences. I've had good and bad experiences with friends, and then also there's a hummingbird out there. But also on the bad roommate subreddit, that is a really good one. More often than not, moving in with a friend, it ends up ruining the friendship.
Experience from him, but still quote unquote living on your own, or a roommate, friend or roommate, someone safe, hopefully someone you know, just to make it a little bit more comfy. But you know what I mean? So you have a couple options. I do think that's probably like the healthiest, just for your own like mental state, because there is something about living, alone before you live with your guy. And it's kind of fun to like date still and go to each other's apartments, rather than going to like your parents' house, having your own space. So if you're able to do roommate, that would be a wonderful middle ground where you feel like you're living alone, but you're getting some help with rent. And then also, I don't think there's any harm in moving in with this guy as well, since you seem to have a good foundation. You've known each other a long time. That is the key. If he was, like I said, if he was new, I'd be like, let's be a little bit cautious.
That's exactly what she did, though. I don't know the exact like date timeline, but she married Yar and moved in with him, I think like within 6 months, because she wanted to be married by the time she was 30. It was like a set in stone thing. I mean, I guess if you have goals of having children, I guess that does make sense, but I don't know, the whole rushing to get married and rushing to have kids thing is very strange to me. Just my personal opinion. It is easier for me to say that because I don't want kids. So I don't really have timelines for anything. I'm just living my life how I want to live it. And I quite enjoy my life, so it's been working out well. But yeah, she I think when did she get engaged? She was talking about, I just saw it in a video. She was talking about moving in like December 2019, and then March of like 2020, something like that. That's when he proposed, and then everything happened. So she did the same exact thing she's suggesting people not to do.
But you've known him a long time. And ultimately, at the end of the day, only you know what's best for you. I met Norman, and we were engaged a year later, married the next year.
Yeah, it was less than a year, which is it. Okay, I know this is controversial. I know a ton of people will say, well, my parents met and they were married within 2 months and then they are still together, blah, blah, blah. I get that. I understand. I know every couple is different, but don't hate me. You do not know a person in 1 year. You do not know a person in 1 year. People can hold up their like their masks well into a year plus of dating. I think, God, 2 years in is about when the mask starts to fall, and then people are getting actually genuinely comfortable with each other, and then you can see like who that person really is. 1 year in, absolutely not. If it works for you, I'm very happy for you. Like, that's great, but that's like the trial zone for me.
And he moved in, gosh, when did he move in? We were together under a year. And it's just like, when you know, you know. As long as you're not getting love bombed, you know. I think that is just fine. But protect your peace and do, at the end of the day, what you know is going to bring you comfort. But I'm rooting for you guys. I'm glad that you found someone so wonderful. It sounds like it's a really good foundation for you. So let me know what you decide to do. I'm super curious. But if you're looking for my advice, I do think it's okay to move in with him. And I think you might want someone to give you that validation, like it's okay to move in with him, because you probably are like, is it okay? So I want to live alone. Like, you're trying to justify it with the rent prices, because like you can do a roommate, but maybe you hate roommates. I've never lived with a roommate. I might not like living with a roommate.
Yeah, but if you don't have the money to live alone, you just don't get the luxury of living alone. You have to have roommates. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, Willa. Otherwise, you're going to be, I forgot what I was saying, but unless you make enough to live alone, you just simply don't have the luxury of living alone. I'm sorry. I have never lived alone. I simply couldn't. Could I now? Yes, but I don't want to, because I'm with my baby boy and I love living with him. It's so fun. It's like a sleepover with your best friend every night. I want to go back and see him. When I'm done with this, I get to go back and see him. I miss him.
I think I would like living with a roommate now that I really think about it.
When the roommate situation, I've had a lot of very shitty ones, but I also had a couple really good ones. And when it's good, it's really nice, because as long as they understand the boundaries of wanting to be left alone sometimes, but then also wanting to chit chat or like cook meals together or like eat together or watch a movie together. That could be really nice. I think, heaven forbid we ever break up. I don't think we will. But like I said, you never know, but I don't think we ever will. I would probably live alone just to see how I like it. But I feel like I'd get lonely. It's like I'd have to call my friends to come over all the time.
2 avenues for a choice. So let me know what you decide to do.
I would just have 1,000 foster cats.
And now, speaking of love bombing, I need to talk about Love Island for a little bit
No,
here.
I'm not watching Love Island. I do not watch Love Island. I'm not a TV girly. I'm not really a movie girly either. I'd rather be doing other things.
Hey, like, he should have been skedaddled. He was of a yab session. I really do. All right, you guys.
You need to go love a gym session and making normal Whole Foods session, not a fucking Weight Watchers hack session. Already thumbs down it. How does she? I don't understand how she has people on her side still. It just does not make any sense to me. So I commented this 10 hours ago. I'm pretty sure she hid me from her channel because I posted this on Reddit and I was like, I posted this 6 seconds ago. If it's not there, let me know. And it was already gone. So I put, not going to address nuking small creators or writing letters to release your pedophile father, I see. I don't understand. Do they just not know? They must just not know. Or they're also pedos as well. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to make it as entertaining as possible. That was a hard watch. I don't know if she'll continue doing these. If she does, the only reason I will be reacting to them is to, again, keep my foot on her neck, to keep talking about what she did, and to be petty, really. I mean, thank you so much for watching. Please do check out my channel memberships. Check out my fundraiser. I'm raising funds for my local food bank. I'll be running a $50K in October for them. And until next time, goodbye.